The problem isn't that metaphysics doesn't work. The problem is that most people repeat it without understanding it. We live in an era where energy, vibration, and manifestation are talked about on every corner, but also one where the most frustration exists with results. People who visualize, decree, and raise their frequency, but remain trapped in cycles of lack, toxic relationships, or emotional stagnation, not from lack of faith, but from lack of vibrational understanding. Metaphysics is not a game of pretty words or daily affirmations. It's an energetic science, an internal technology. And like any technology, if you don't know how it works, you can have it in front of you and still not activate it. You're not here to collect phrases, you're here to break patterns. You're going to discover what nobody explained to you, how your energetic body operates, how attraction really works, why money doesn't respond only to action, and how to embody a purpose without anxiety or fantasy. You're going to break with the new age ideas that sabotage you and enter a metaphysics that truly transforms. You don't need more information, you need integration, and that's why you're here. In the next chapter, we'll start by tearing down the biggest myth that metaphysics works for everyone, because it's not about what you know, it's about what you vibrate. Ready to reconfigure your energy? Chapter 1. The uncomfortable truth about metaphysics. Metaphysics doesn't fail. People who try to use it from incoherence fail. Though it sounds harsh, this is the root of why so many decree, visualize, and repeat affirmations without seeing a single change in their reality. Energy doesn't respond to what you say with your mouth, it responds to what you sustain with your vibration. And most sustain fear, doubt, urgency, or need, even when pronouncing words of abundance. Florence Scovel Shinn, pioneer of modern metaphysical thought, explained it with a clarity that few dare to repeat. The word is the magic wand, but only if it coincides with the internal frequency. For Shinn, the universe doesn't respond to pretty phrases, but to the vibrational field behind them. This means you can affirm security while vibrating insecurity. You can decree wealth while emitting lack, and you can visualize love while fearing rejection. The result will always be the vibration, not the word. This doesn't sound pretty, but it transforms. Metaphysics only works when there is coherence, when mind, emotion, and action point in the same direction. The law of attraction doesn't attract what you desire. It attracts what you are vibrationally. Put another way, you don't manifest what you dream, you manifest what you sustain. And sustaining wealth, love, or expansion requires energetic training, not just thinking. A concrete example is someone who repeats every morning, "I am at peace," but lives running, saturated with commitments, drained by demands, and with their mind on alert. That person isn't at peace, they're in survival. Their affirmation doesn't activate anything because their nervous system vibrates the opposite. But if that same person takes 5 minutes to lower their breathing, relax their body, release tension, and allow presence, their vibration changes first. Then, the affirmation becomes a command, not a desire. Metaphysics activates when the body validates it. One way to implement this in your life is to establish a vibrational bridge before decreeing. Breathe deeply for a few seconds, feel your body, release the dense emotion, and only then affirm what you desire. This aligns the mind with emotion and prevents you from decreeing from anxiety or lack. You can also observe your internal dialogue during the day. If you affirm abundance in the morning, but during the afternoon you complain about money, you break coherence. The key is to sustain the same vibration for as long as possible. This is the foundation of this entire book. Metaphysics isn't learned, it's embodied, it's not repeated, it's sustained, it's not memorized, it's vibrated. When you understand this, your practices stop being theory and become energetic technology. In the next chapter, you'll enter territory that almost nobody explains, the body as an energetic field. Because if vibration is the key, you need to understand where your energy really vibrates and how it organizes within you. Chapter 2. The body as a field, your internal energetic system. Most people believe they have a body, but don't understand that they are a field. Matter isn't what it seems. It's composed of atoms, and atoms of energy and movement. Your body, therefore, isn't a physical object, but a vibrational system that receives, processes and emits frequencies constantly. It's no coincidence that when you're at peace, everything flows, and when you're altered, everything collapses. Reality adapts to your frequency, not to your appearance. The ancient sages knew this. In Egypt, they spoke of subtle vehicles. In India, they recognized the chakras as nodes of energetic consciousness. But in the West, this wisdom was forgotten until figures like Barbara Brennan, former NASA scientist and author of the book Hands of Light, began to demonstrate that the human body is surrounded by a measurable energetic field known as the aura or bioplasmic field. Her research revealed that emotional blockages are stored in the energetic body long before manifesting as illness or stagnation in real life. When your mind thinks one thing, your emotion vibrates another, and your body acts differently, your field becomes disordered. That internal misalignment is what prevents energy from flowing toward what you desire. The key to a coherent life isn't only in what you do, but in the integrated frequency with which you do it. That's why, before wanting to attract more money, love, or success, you must check if your energetic system is available to receive it. To begin working with your body as a field, start by observing your physical sensations. Are there zones of constant tension, repetitive pains, lack of energy? Then, associate them with unexpressed emotions or ruminating thoughts. Practice diaphragmatic breathing for at least 5 minutes a day, visualizing how energy enters through the crown and cleans your entire system toward the base of the spine. You don't need to know each chakra, you only need to recognize that your energy deserves order. A relaxed body doesn't only heal, it also manifests. And in the next chapter, we're going to touch on one of the biggest blind spots of modern metaphysical thought, believing that just thinking positive is enough. You'll see why there's no real manifestation if your words and your actions don't accompany your thoughts. I'll tell you about the most forgotten creative trinomial: mind, word, and action. Chapter 3. Mind, word, and action. The creative trinomial. Thinking isn't enough. That's one of the most ignored truths by those who study the law of attraction. Decreeing without acting, affirming without moving, visualizing without integrating doesn't change anything. Because in the vibrational universe, energy doesn't respond to loose ideas, it responds to complete frequencies. And a complete frequency occurs when what you think, what you say, and what you do are aligned. Many believe that by repeating positive phrases they're already manifesting, but they don't realize that at the same time they emit doubts when speaking or behave as if they don't deserve what they desire. That energetic incoherence is like sending a contradictory signal to the universe, and the universe, as a quantum field, doesn't respond to your declared intentions, it responds to your total field. Louise Hay, pioneer in the power of thought and author of You Can Heal Your Life, taught that the body doesn't only get sick from what you eat or do, but from what you tell yourself and how you act against yourself. For her, congruence was medicine. If you think you deserve love, but you relate to people who don't value you, your body registers it. If you affirm abundance, but speak from scarcity, your field blocks. A person who desires prosperity, for example, can repeat abundance decrees every morning. But if in their daily language they complain about money, or if their actions are governed by fear of investing, charging, selling, they're sabotaging their own frequency. That's why they don't manifest, because their creative trinomial is fractured. To activate this trinomial, perform this simple but powerful exercise. For 3 days, keep a record of your most recurring thoughts, the phrases you repeat most out loud, and the automatic actions you do without thinking. Then, compare them. Ask yourself, does what I think reflect in what I say? Is what I say backed up by what I do? Where you find contradiction, there's a point of energetic leakage. Correct it, not with judgment, but with awareness. And in the next chapter, we're going to debunk one of the most common myths of modern spirituality, believing that purpose is something to be pursued like a trophy. You'll discover that purpose isn't sought, it's tuned into, because it's not about doing, but about remembering who you came to be. Chapter 4. Purpose. It's not sought, it's tuned into. Most people believe that purpose is something that must be found, as if it were hidden somewhere in the world, waiting to be discovered. But purpose isn't a goal that's pursued, it's a vibration that's embodied. It's not about doing more, but about remembering who you came to be. For a long time, the system taught us that purpose was defined through professional success, the accumulation of titles, or visible impact, but none of that guarantees fulfillment. True purpose isn't measured by external results, it's felt as a silent certainty in the chest. It's a frequency that resonates when your actions coincide with your essence. Viktor Frankl, psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, discovered in the concentration camps one of the most profound truths about purpose. It doesn't matter how adverse external circumstances are, when a human being finds meaning in what they live, they become unbreakable. His work. Man's search for meaning doesn't speak of success, it speaks of significance. And that's the core of purpose, an internal direction that gives meaning even to pain. The stage of purpose often arrives preceded by emptiness. First appears discomfort, dissatisfaction, the feeling that what you do no longer fulfills. Then comes confusion, changes, loss of motivation for the old. That's where many people despair and seek answers outside. But if instead of seeking you choose to tune in, you begin to receive clarity. To begin tuning into your purpose, here's a concrete practice. For 7 days, dedicate 5 minutes upon waking to write on a sheet the answer to this question. What would make me feel most aligned today? Don't think about long-term goals. Think about vibration. Then, at the end of the day, note whether what you did felt close or distant to that answer. This exercise doesn't reveal purpose immediately, but it fine-tunes your internal radar. And that's the essential thing. Fine-tuning, not forcing. And now that you're understanding that the key isn't in running after what you think you should be, but in vibrating with what you already are, in the next chapter, we're going to dismantle one of spirituality's biggest taboos, money, because attracting it doesn't depend on how much you work, but from where you do it. Chapter 5. Attracting money with energetic metaphysics. Most people believe that money arrives by working more, doing more, running more. But metaphysics reveals something deeper. It's not the action that attracts, it's the vibration from where you take action. It doesn't matter how many hours you work. If your money energy is loaded with fear, guilt, or effort, the field closes. And if your vibration is clean, secure, and open, even small movements generate results. Joseph Murphy, author of The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, taught that money doesn't respond to logic, it responds to internal programming. He affirmed that the subconscious operates through images, emotions, and deep beliefs, not through loose words or forced affirmations. That's why there are people who repeat, "I am abundant," but vibrate in lack, and their reality reflects that incoherence. Money doesn't hear what you say, it hears what you believe. Money energy is formed by 3 pillars: worthiness, anticipated gratitude, and emotional availability. Worthiness opens the door, anticipated gratitude keeps it open, and emotional availability allows new opportunities to enter. If you lack one of these elements, the field becomes unbalanced. At an energetic level, each person carries an internal economic field, a vibration that's nourished by past experiences, family beliefs, and unresolved wounds. Whoever grew up hearing that money is difficult, corrupts, or isn't enough usually vibrates in protection and fear. And whoever associates money with freedom, possibilities, and expansion vibrates in openness. Energy doesn't lie. Money arrives where it can live without being rejected. Reprogramming of the energetic body of worthiness. Stand with your feet firm on the ground. Close your eyes and breathe deeply 3 times. Then, bring your hands to your chest area and visualize that you're holding a sphere of golden light. That sphere represents your economic field. Inhale gently, and as you exhale, repeat in silence. Yes, I receive. Do it without speaking, only feeling. Bring your attention to any part of the body that tenses, jaw, stomach, shoulders. If they tense, don't fight. Release the air and allow the tension to melt as if the golden light absorbed it. Repeat for 1 minute. The important thing isn't to imagine quantities of money, but to habituate your body to the sensation of receiving without guilt, without fear. and without effort. When the body learns to allow, material reality responds. This practice doesn't seek to convince your mind. It seeks to train your vibrational field. The body is the bridge between energy and matter. If your body doesn't allow receiving, your life doesn't either. When you achieve that, your nervous system relaxes before the idea of prospering. The universe begins to open paths where before you only saw closed doors. Now that you understand that money doesn't arrive by pressure, but by vibration. In the next chapter, we're going to enter one of the most revealing topics of modern metaphysics, energetic relationships. Because just as the economy reflects your internal field, your bonds are also an exact mirror of your emotional frequency. Chapter 6. Energetic relationships. What you attract speaks of you. Your bonds don't manifest from what you long for, but from what you emit. You can repeat positive affirmations, do visualizations, write lists of qualities. But if your energy continues loaded with lack, fear, or dependence, the universe isn't going to send you what you desire. It's going to reflect what you vibrate. Relationships, especially the most intense, are portals that activate unresolved memories. That's why a person can feel very attracted to someone who activates their wound of abandonment, betrayal, or not being enough. And confusing that pain with love isn't love, it's the energetic field trying to close a pending wound. The problem is that if there's no awareness, the cycle repeats over and over. Carl Jung called it projection. Everything that isn't integrated is projected. If you don't recognize your fear of rejection, you're going to feel that others reject you. If you don't observe your wound of control, you're going to want to control, or you'll attract those who do. And if you don't make peace with your shadow, life is going to show it to you in each bond until you look at it. But this isn't punishment, it's vibrational. Pedagogy. Life shows you through the other what you still haven't transformed in yourself. That's why the most painful relationships aren't mistakes, they're mirrors. And when you stop looking for culprits and begin to observe which parts of you were available to receive mistreatment, indifference, or invalidation, then you stop repeating and begin to create. The key isn't in changing the other, it's in recalibrating yourself. When you heal your vibration, when you stop being available for bonds that drain, manipulate, or retain, the universe responds quickly. People who don't resonate move away without effort, and those who vibrate at your new level appear without searching. A powerful exercise isn't to visualize an ideal partner or a perfect friendship, it's to look honestly at your current bonds and ask yourself, which version of me chose them? What part of my energy attracted this connection? Am I with this person for expansion or for emotional habit? It's not about cutting off every uncomfortable bond at the root. It's about illuminating with awareness what before was on autopilot. A transformative practice to avoid unconscious relationships is to commit to yourself before committing to someone else. Make a vibrational contract where you declare what you're willing to allow, what you no longer negotiate, and what you're ready to offer with fullness. Read it out loud, record it, make it ritual, and above all, fulfill it with yourself. Because nobody can give you what you yourself aren't willing to sustain. Now that you understand that relationships aren't attracted from desire, but from frequency, you're ready to go deeper. Because what elevates you isn't pretending happiness or thinking positively, it's learning to manage your real energy. In the next chapter, we'll talk about how to raise your vibration without falling into the trap of toxic positivism. Chapter 7. How to raise your vibration without toxic positivism. Not everything that shines vibrates high. We live in an era where spirituality has disguised itself as obligatory smiles, empty affirmations, and pretty phrases on social media. But real vibration doesn't rise with emotional makeup. It rises when you stop running from yourself. Raising your frequency isn't avoiding pain, it's learning to process it. It's not pretending you're okay, it's having the courage to feel what's there. Toxic positivism demands you deny the human. Authentic metaphysics asks you to embrace it because you can't transform what you're not willing to look at. Energy stagnates when the body is tense, breathing is superficial, and the mind repeats judgments. But when you release judgment, when you breathe deeply, when you allow your body to exhale what it's been retaining, Then your field expands without effort. Vibration isn't imposed, it's allowed. Greg Braden taught this with the concept of heart coherence. When your emotions, your breathing, and your thoughts are aligned, your heart emits a frequency capable of reorganizing your energetic field, and from there everything changes, because it's not about doing more spiritual things, but about being more you, without masks, without noise, without internal fracture. Do you want to raise your vibration? Then start by listening to yourself. Take a 5-minute pause each day to close your eyes, put your hand on your chest, and ask yourself, am I present or am I pretending? Breathe deeply. Allow your body to tell you the truth. Vibration doesn't lie. And if today you can't feel gratitude, feel honesty. If you can't smile, breathe. If you can't meditate, go for a walk without your cell phone. Vibration rises when you honor what's there, not when you cover it up. The trick isn't to seem elevated, it's to stop carrying what sinks you. A powerful way to raise your frequency without resorting to false formulas is to create a ritual of authenticity. It doesn't have to be perfect or mystical, just real. It can be a conscious shower, a walk without distractions, a song that reminds you who you are, a notebook where you write what you don't dare say out loud. The soul rises when truth is freed. And now that you understand that your energetic field doesn't depend on appearing happy, but on living in coherence, you're ready to integrate this wisdom in the most powerful scenario of all, your everyday life. In the next chapter, you'll discover how to apply metaphysics while you work, cook, respond to emails, or go shopping. Because true spirituality isn't saved for temples, it's breathed in the daily. Chapter 8. Applied Spirituality, Metaphysics in the Everyday. True spirituality isn't demonstrated in retreats, but in the bank line. The metaphysics that works isn't the one you only understand, it's the one you embody when nobody's watching. Because if your vibrational field rises only when you meditate, but collapses when you argue, then what you have is a concept, not a transformation. The soul didn't come to disconnect from the world, it came to learn to elevate it from within. The mistake of many seekers is to fall into spiritual escape, reading books, repeating affirmations, talking about energy, but disconnecting from their body, their environment, their present. They want light, but avoid looking at their shadow. They want abundance, but criticize money. They want love, but sabotage intimacy. Ralph Waldo Emerson, philosopher and transcendentalist mystic, said it with clarity. What you do speaks so loudly that I cannot hear what you say. And in metaphysics, this is law. Your energetic field doesn't vibrate for what you know, it vibrates for what you practice. That's why each daily gesture is a vibrational choice. Do you respond from your wounded version or from your expanded version? You don't need more rituals, you need more presence. The most advanced form of manifestation doesn't occur at an altar. It occurs when you pay with gratitude, when you speak with coherence, when you cook with intention, when you respond to a message without reactivity. Real magic is invisible, but tangible in the results of your life. If you want to integrate metaphysics into your day-to-day, start with this silent challenge. Spend 24 hours without justifying yourself, without complaining, and without victimizing yourself. Observe your language, your posture, your breathing, and each time you feel you're lowering your energy, take a pause, exhale slowly, and repeat internally, I can choose another frequency. Do it without drama, without hurry, without having to tell anyone. That's where true power begins. You didn't come to seek miracles, you came to be one. This entire journey wasn't to give you more theory, it was to remind you that you are the channel, not the spectator. The universal laws are already within you. You don't need to memorize more decrees. You need to become one. Because each of your thoughts generates form. Each word creates a field, and each decision vibrates stronger than 1,000 books. Authentic spirituality doesn't make you special. It makes you responsible, because you can no longer blame the world, the past, or luck. You know that your vibration directs your reality. You know that the universe doesn't respond to your desires. It responds to your coherence. And you know that the secret isn't in repeating, but in inhabiting the I am with presence. So stop seeking miracles and start behaving like one in what you think, in what you sustain, in what you allow. The universe doesn't need more students of metaphysics. It needs beings who live it while they work, while they cry, while they love, while they fail, and still keep vibrating high. And if this audiobook ignited something in you, I invite you to keep listening. There are more audiobooks on this channel waiting to reveal other fragments of the map, but don't use them to postpone your transformation. Use them as fuel to embody it, because every word that stays in your mind is energy that didn't reach the body. And you didn't come to study energy, you came to make it. If this content resonated with you and you want to continue your journey of energetic transformation, subscribe to this channel right now. Don't miss the upcoming audiobooks that will help you go deeper into the metaphysics that truly transforms. Hit that subscribe button and activate notifications so you don't miss any content. Your vibrational evolution starts here. Subscribe now and become part of this community of conscious beings who don't just study energy, but live it.